kissing Raquel, which producers made happen. Now she was kissing Sandoval. Didn't you think that was at least strange?
It was weird because we talked about it afterwards.
Yeah.
I think it was Schwartz.
But then when
Sandra,
you're,
we couldn't.
but see,
you don't know the difference between the two?
Well, we do, but it's so like.
But when you're in the moment, you're like, well, what
like I was thinking, my mind was playing tricks on me.
Yeah, you don't
and then
really
I'm like,
think.
no, this is really what happened.
I mean, what's the depth of two people kissing? Do you care? No, we're
Right.
like, okay, who cares? You're
Right.
in Cancun
Again,
it's
because-
hot, you're drunk, you're like in bikinis, whatever.
But also, what did you say to me back then in Mexico? You said, "Well, that's Vanderpump Rules. Everybody
they
fucks
all
everybody
do
on this
everybody.
show."
It's like, I'm like,
so
whatever.
okay, maybe that's what's happening. And then you didn't really realize
But
the
then-
magnitude until afterwards.
Oh, I get that. Everyone does sleep together, which I
And-
agree.
and-
I don't
and-
understand
and
why
here's-
this is such a big deal,
and-
but we'll get
right.
into that in a
but
few minutes.
But here's what we didn't really notice. I think Ariana wasn't so present with the guests and everything else. I think she was more outside of that entire world.
Yeah.
And at that point, it seemed like, and that's when you start thinking about it, because if Ariana was there with us, I'd be like,
Like, what the hell? Yeah.
you know, I
what,
would have
she
like
just wasn't around?
she wasn't in the bridal party. So if she's not in the bridal party and she's not in the intimate quarters,
No, Arnie wasn't she a bridesmaid? She was.
was she right?
I
she was a
think
bride-
so,
she was a
yeah.
bridesmaid.
She
Yeah,
was
she was. She just wasn't there. She came afterwards. Yeah.
She came afterwards.
Did you think though so I know you think everyone just fucks everyone, but like when Sandoval is kissing Raquel, didn't you think like maybe we should
No.
tell Ariana?
No, because I didn't
You don't
really
connect
realize
it.
the magnitude of what it was. And you have to remember, we come from a reality TV background. We started on the very first reality show, the Ann and Nicole show. So we see this produced stuff for 15 years over and over and over again.
But we also know Rachel to be with Kennedy,
Yeah.
with James.
James.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, okay. Like
Yeah.
you don't think much of it.
Did
but
you think
7
of
months-
telling your friend Scheana? I mean, that is your best friend-ish.
during the wedding?
Yeah, I mean, it's her wedding. You're not gonna. Were you gonna
No.
come and?
I also
Yeah.
didn't. And well,
Yeah, it's
she
her
was on,
day. It's her moment.
Wait,
You're not gonna say something like that.
This is important because when she was on our podcast, I said that when Rachel was in the store.
Oh my God, you're gonna confuse people. Raquel.
No. When Raquel was in the store.
Raquel, Rachel. I'm just texting Anakin Kostes from Miami Housewives. Go on.
When
I'm
Raquel
listening.
was in the store, I told Scheana on the podcast, I said, this is the first time I'm going to have to say this to you because I want you to know that it seemed to me like she was not genuinely interested in anything that was going on with you.
Right.
I felt like there was a disconnect because I've done a lot of weddings. I do Academy Awards, I do Emmy Awards, I do gowns for celebrities, red carpets, all day and night.
Correct.
So when you bring somebody with you who's not a stylist, who's a friend, the intimacy and you're there for that moment to embrace. You put your phone away. The focus is on the dress. The
Right.
focus is on your celebration. The focus is the mood, the vibe, the energy.
It's hard to put
and,
the phone away sometimes.
and all
Yeah, but
of-
you have to.
No,
When
no,
you're
no.
there for the
Because
bride,
you're
you need
there
to be
for
there for the
somebody
bride,
else.
for somebody else.
And you're only there for a few minutes to be able, and you're
Yeah.
there for a special purpose. You're not there just because I need your help. I need that support. So when I saw that, when I told her that on the podcast, she goes, I'm glad you didn't tell me because if you had told me this, then we would stop talking to each other. Because she was so convinced of her friendship with her, and she was so it was
No,
one-sided
not that
that
she
she
would have
didn't
stopped talking
recognize
to
it.
you. She wouldn't have been able to handle it.
Yeah.
what do you
Wouldn't
mean? Like she would have been upset.
She
if
Of
you
would,
told
yeah,
her
because
this.
she said if anybody would have said something to me a month ago, I wouldn't have believed them. I was
And
so
that's
pro
why I
Raquel,
said-
because that's how she is. She's a ride or die.
Yeah.
She's
in it.
Yeah.
So that's why I told her, I said, I didn't want to
Right.
ruin everything that you were building up for your wedding and everything that I knew that was
Right.
happening for the celebration because I wanted that. And your relationship with her is different. So I don't want to come in between you two and say,
Right.
you know what? Oh, well, she's a real bitch.
But Paul-
don't bring her.
Yeah, but Paul said it best. He said that the way Scheana had her whole wedding set up was that she was there with her friends, her family.
Yeah,
to
this was
celebrate
not
this
for
intimate
TV.
moment, and the cameras were secondary.
Yes.
and I love how
Yeah.
that was.
She did.
It
See,
really
she
was
did not
true.
produce her wedding for a TV show.
Right.
No.
She was doing the wedding for the beautiful moment that she wanted
With
to
Brock.
have, because she had cameras before.
Yeah.
And she said it was intrusive.
Right.
And she wasn't able to really have the wedding that she could do because, don't stand there, don't do this.
Right.
I mean, when Patrik proposed
Right,
to me
this
on
was like a real
E-television.
wedding.
Right.
Yeah, when Patrik proposed to me on E-television in Rodeo Drive, when they shut the whole thing down, right?
I got down on one knee, said
He-
my whole speech.
That happened on the Anna Nicole show?
No, it was on what was it? New Money.
New Money. So
I have no idea what show that
It was
is.
a
yeah,
show we
it's
did
on
for
E-television.
E-television.
So
Oh,
when
God. How many shows have you done?
so this
So
is
many.
let me
Jesus.
let me tell you what happened.
Okay.
He gets down on one knee,
Yep.
professes his love to me, gives me this huge diamond ring,
Yep.
right?
That one you're wearing?
Yes.
And
Okay.
then next thing you know, production comes in and goes, hold on, don't get up.
Everybody wait,
We need
cut."
to get the camera angle from here because we want to get the ring.
Right. And then
So
they're
it's like,
okay,
it stops that.
yeah.
It's like awkward.
And we had all of our friends and my mother, my sister. They were alive at the time, and they all ran from the side of the building.
They
from
were at Cartier hiding.
and they all ran from the side with balloons and champagne and everything. And I'm on my knee giving him the ring, and then all of a sudden, producers like stop it. Okay, everybody, go back to the other
to
side
your
of the
side.
building. We need to do this
But
again.
you see what
We
I
need a
mean? So
close-up
when-
on the ring box, I'm like, oh my god.
So when Scheana did her wedding planning, it wasn't including.
Well, I heard they weren't even necessarily going to film it.
No.
I
They
heard
weren't?
it was like,
No.
that's
Yeah.
what I heard.
Yeah.
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 Oh, you're agreeing with me.
That's
she
true.
she wasn't. She didn't care.
And she didn't care. She just wanted to
The wedding
marry
wasn't-
Brock. for
It
her
wasn't
daughter.
like a storyline that was Bravo paying for it, and then they were gonna have her do it. She was
Right.
getting married.
Well,
Bravo
did not pay for it.
Bravo was coming along.
I will go on record to say
Yeah.
that, just in case anyone's confused.
But she
Okay.
wanted because this was very important to her.
Yeah.
This was their families flew in from Australia. This was a commitment that it wasn't a fake thing.
Did you feel like a buzz? So, like, when you saw this kiss, I mean, I guess nobody else really saw it. Like, you didn't feel a buzz, like producers, like, oh my God, look what we saw. Oh, shh. Like, there wasn't that buzz in the air.
You know what? I feel like Paul. I went back and I talked to Paul and we talked about it. But honestly, we were there for Scheana and her
Yeah, we
wedding
didn't-
and Brock. And the number thing out of my mind on that day was not, okay, Tom was kissing Raquel. It was, we got to get Scheana fucking looking amazing in her wedding
I
gown.
have
Because in 2 hours, she's walking
Yeah,
down the
look,
aisle.
I have anxiety. Okay, because
Well, this didn't help, did it?
Well,
No.
I may.
Honey,
because-
we're in the midst of a Scandoval.
Well, because the
I still
anxiety.
don't understand that.
Listen, the anxiety
We're gonna
comes
talk
from
about that.
making a gown that until it's like on the red carpet,
Yeah.
or until it's down the runway, or it's until at that podium where it's your wedding.
Yeah.
You're walking down that aisle, that moment when he sees you.
Right.
Because Brock dropped her off a couple of times for the fitting.
Yeah.
And we had to tell him to leave.
Yeah.
So that moment, I have anxiety. I'm like, because this is her
This is
vision.
So we
Sure.
talked about it
Yeah.
briefly.
Sure.
I explained to him. We kind of talked about it. But
I'm
then
like, whatever. I don't care. I need
we're
to get Scheana
we
ready.
need to get her ready. That was our focus, getting her ready to get her in her dress and making her look amazing. Which
And
she did.
honestly, for the 4 days that I was there, the whole time,
yeah,
I couldn't really enjoy myself until she walked down the aisle.
it's true.
I just wonder if producers would have brought this up. Like, listen, this wasn't a guaranteed other season. This could have been the last season.
Everyone
ever
said it
for
was
this
going to be
show.
the last
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wonder if producers are like,
I don't think
It's
Scheana
our
thought it was
integrity,
I think
like-
Scheana thought this was the last season.
I mean,